In this video, we are going to discuss about elevation of boiling point of a solvent. Elevation of boiling point is a colligative property. We know that the colligative properties are those properties which are dependent on the relative number of the solute molecules. So elevation of boiling point will be changes according to the relative number of the solute molecules. So first of all, let us see what is the boiling point. Boiling point of a solvent is the temperature at which the vapor pressure of the solvent becomes equal to the atmospheric pressure. So when we boil the liquid, the vapor pressure of the liquid becomes increases, and when the vapor pressure of the liquid it is equal to the atmospheric pressure, then the liquid starts to boil, and that is the boiling point of the liquid. So the elevation of the boiling point of a solvent is the difference between the boiling point of the solution and the boiling point of the solvent. So let us see this graph. So in this graph, we can see the variation of vapor pressure with temperature. We know that the vapor pressure of the liquid becomes constant at constant temperature. And when we increase the temperature, the vapor pressure of the liquid is also increases. So there are two curves are seen in this graph. This first curve, it is for the solvent. So when we take the pure solvent, as we increase the temperature, the vapor pressure is increases, and at this point, it is reaches to the atmospheric pressure. So suppose that at this point, the pressure it is P0. The vapor pressure of the liquid becomes equal to P0, and the corresponding temperature at this point it is T0. It means that T0 it is the boiling point of the solvent. Now if we add the solute into the solvent, now it becomes the solution. So when we are adding a non-volatile solute into the solvent, now I would like to show this diagrammatically. You can see here, suppose if we take first a pure solvent, suppose we take the water and we boil the water. What happens? The vapor pressure of the water becomes increases as the temperature will be increases. And when the vapor pressure becomes reaches to the atmospheric pressure, then the liquid starts to boil. And therefore T0 it is the boiling point of the liquid. Now when we are adding the non-volatile solute, into that solvent, non-volatile solute into the solvent, the vapor pressure of the solvent get lowered. Therefore, the solution boils at higher temperature than the boiling point of the solvent. So you can see here the second graph which shows variation of vapor pressure with temperature. So as we increase the temperature, vapor pressure will be increases, but in this case, as there is a non-volatile solute is added into the solvent, and due to that the vapor pressure initially get lowered. Therefore to boil that solution more temperature will be required and solution will boils at higher temperature. So at this vapor pressure the boiling point of the solution it is T. Now the difference between these two, boiling point of the solution and boiling point of the solvent, it is called as elevation of boiling point. So we can represent this elevation of the boiling point. Suppose we write here elevation of boiling point, it is denoted by the symbol delta TE. So this elevation of boiling point, now it is the difference between the boiling point of the solution, that is T, and the boiling point of the solvent, that is T0. Okay, so now we are going to discuss about the relation between the elevation of boiling point with the mole fraction of the solute. Okay, so let us understand first these two plots. So at vapor pressure P0, the corresponding temperature is T0. At vapor pressure, let us now take the 2 points onto the solution curve. Let us take the 2 points onto the solution curve. Okay. So P0 is the vapor pressure of the solution when the corresponding temperature is T, and P is the vapor pressure of the solution and the corresponding temperature is T0. So we have selected here the 2 points, that is higher vapor pressure and lower vapor pressure, higher temperature and the lower temperature. So on this solution curve, we have select the 2 points. Now we can apply the integrated form of Clapeyron-Clausius equation to this. So first of all, you can see here the elevation of boiling point. This is equal to T0 minus T. It is T minus T0. It is T minus T0. Okay, it is T minus T0. That is the boiling point of the solution minus boiling point of the solvent. So from the graph, it is seen that the vapor pressure of the solution are P0 at temperature T and P at temperature T0. So we can substitute these values in the integrated form of the Clapeyron-Clausius equation. So what is the integrated form of the Clapeyron-Clausius equation? Let us represent that equation here first. That is ln P1 upon P2. ln P1 upon P2, where P1 it is a lower vapor pressure and P2 it is a higher vapor pressure. So ln P1 upon P2 it is equal to minus LV upon R, where LV it is the latent heat of vaporization per mole of the solvent. In bracket it is 1 upon T1 minus 1 upon T2. 1 upon T1 minus 1 upon T2. So this equation, it is called as the integrated form of Clapeyron-Clausius equation. Now we can apply this equation to the solution curve where we select the 2 points, higher vapor pressure, higher temperature, lower vapor pressure and lower temperature. So therefore in this case P1 is P and P2 is P0. So we write here ln P upon P0. It is equal to minus LV upon R. Lower temperature, that is T0. T1 it is T0 and T it is T2. So 1 upon T0 minus 1 upon T. So in this way we write this equation. This is the equation 1. Okay. So now where LV it is the heat of vaporization per mole of the solvent. Now we can simplify the equation. So you can see the right side of the equation. It can be simplified. So it is T minus T0 divided by T0 into T. Okay. Then we know that the difference between the boiling point of the solution, that is T minus T0, it is delta T. We have represent this delta T here. So this delta T can be substituted here. Instead of writing this T minus T0, we have to substitute here delta TE. So therefore the equation can be written as ln P upon P0 it is equal to minus LV upon R delta TE upon T0 into T. What is delta T? Delta T, it is the elevation of boiling point of a solvent. What is T0? T0 it is the boiling point of the solvent and T is the boiling point of the solution. Now this is the equation 2. Now for a dilute solution, the T and T0 are nearly equal. If the solution is very dilute, then the boiling point of the solvent and the boiling point of the solution is not so much differ from each other. So the product of boiling point of the solvent, that is T0, and the boiling point of the solution, that is T, we can write this approximately equal to T0 square. It is written as T0 square. Okay. So therefore the equation 2 can be modified as, this is for only the dilute solution, T0 into T it is equal to T0 square. So we can write here ln P upon P0 it is equal to minus LV upon R. So equation 2 can be written as, so let us see the next slide here. Equation 2 can be written as, you can see here, ln P upon P0, the LHS remains as same, minus LV upon R into delta TE upon T0 square. Okay, where T0 it is the boiling point of the solvent. Now let us apply the Raoult's law here. We can simplify now the LHS side. So according to the Raoult's law, P upon P0 it is equal to 1 minus x2. As we know that the Raoult's law, the relative lowering of the vapor pressure of a solution becomes equal to the mole fraction of the non-volatile solute. That is the Raoult's law. And the Raoult's law can be written in this way: P upon P0 it is equal to 1 minus x2. Okay. So this we can substitute now P upon P0 by 1 minus x2. This is according to the Raoult's law. Okay. So now we can write here ln 1 minus x2, ln 1 minus x2 it is equal to ln 1 minus x2 it is equal to minus LV upon R. Now RHS side it's same. Okay. Now the logarithmic expansion of this ln 1 minus x2 mathematically can be written as the logarithmic expansion of this term ln 1 minus x2, it is written as minus x2 minus x2 square upon 2 minus x2 cube upon 3. Now for a dilute solution, as the value of the x2 is very less. What is x2 here? x2 it is called as mole fraction of the solute. Mole fraction of the solute which is present into the solution. So x2 it is called as mole fraction of the solute. And for the dilute solution, this mole fraction of the solute becomes very less. The mole fraction of the solute it is very less in case of the dilute solution. It means that the value of the x2 becomes very less. So in this logarithmic expansion here, see here, ln 1 minus x2, as x2 is very small, so the square of x2 square upon 2, x2 cube upon 3, suppose that if the value of the x2 it is equal to, let us imagine the x2 value, mole fraction of the solute, as the solution becomes very dilute, a mole fraction of the solute it is supposed to be equal to 0.01 mole fraction of the solute it is. Okay, so square of this 0.01 divided by 2, then cube of this 0.01 divided by 3, that values becomes very less. Therefore we can write here ln 1 minus x2 it is equal to minus x2. Okay, so equation 4 now can be written. So we can substitute ln 1 minus x2 by minus x2. Okay, ln 1 minus x2 by minus x2. So equation 4 can be written as, so we can write now here the equation 4, ln 1 minus x2 it is equal to minus x2. So minus x2 it is equal to minus LV upon R, minus LV upon R into delta TE upon T0 square, delta TE upon T0 square. Okay, so we can write the equation 4 in this way. So you can see here on both sides there is a negative sign, so negative becomes positive. So equation 4 can be written in this way. So it is x2 it is equal to LV into delta T upon RT0 square. So this is equation 5. Okay, now equation 5 can be written as, you can see here. So we write here delta T on the left hand side. So delta T it is equal to, once again you have to see the equation 5. So delta T it is equal to see here RT0 square. Okay, it goes to here RT0 square divided by LV into x2. So equation 5 can be written as, so now delta T it is equal to, okay, delta TE it is equal to RT0 square divided by LV into x2. Now in this equation 6, R is a constant. R is a gas constant. Okay, so this value it is a constant. What is T0? T0 it is the boiling point of the solvent. Suppose solvent is water. Suppose solvent is water. So the boiling point of the water it is 373 Kelvin. That is a constant value. So boiling point of the solvent it is also constant. So LV it is the latent heat of vaporization per mole of the solvent. So this value cannot be changed. So R is constant, T0 is constant, LV is constant. So we can say that delta TE, this delta TE, elevation in boiling point of the solvent, it is directly proportional to, X2. We can write like this, because as these three are constant, so elevation of boiling point, it is related to x2. Okay, it means that if the value of the x2 is large, delta T is large, or if the value of the x2 is small, delta T is small. So elevation of boiling point of a solvent is directly proportional to the mole fraction of the solute. So this is the thermodynamic relation between the elevation of boiling point of the solvent. This is the thermodynamic relation between the elevation of boiling point of the solvent with elevation of boiling point of the solvent with mole fraction of the solute. Okay. Now we know that according to the definition of the mole fraction, it is the ratio of number of moles of that component divided by total number of moles of the all the components which are present into the solution. Let us consider that the solution is binary. It means the solution contains two components, solute and solvent. So we want to write here mole fraction of the solute x2. So mole fraction of the solute x2, it is equal to number of moles of the solute divided by total number of moles of the solute and solvent. So mole fraction of the solute x2, it is equal to n2 upon n1 plus n2, where n1 and n2 are the number of moles of the solvent and solute. So this is according to the definition of the mole fraction. What fraction of the mole of the solute is present into the solution? So it is the ratio of number of moles of the solute divided by total number of moles of the solute and solvent. This is number of moles of the solvent, and this is number of moles of the solute. Now once again for the dilute solution, because we are talking every time dilute solution. So for dilute solution, if the solution becomes very dilute, then N2 is very small. Therefore the addition of number of moles of the solvent and number of moles of the solute, N1 plus N2, it is approximately equal to N1. Suppose that you can imagine the number of moles of the solvent, it is equal to number of moles of the solvent, it is equal to 1 mole. It is equal to 1 mole. And number of moles of the solute becomes, solution is dilute. So number of moles of the solute, it is very, very less. So suppose number of moles of the solute, it is equal to 0.01. So 1 plus 0.01, that is not too much differ from number of moles of the solvent, that is N1. Therefore x2, it is equal to N2 divided by N1. x2, it is equal to N2 divided by N1, that is number of moles of the solute divided by number of moles of the solvent. So equation 6 now can be modified in this way. We put x2, it is equal to N2 upon N1. So equation 6 can be written as delta T, it is equal to RT0 square upon LV into N2 upon N1. Okay. Now, but according to the definition of the number of moles, how we can determine the number of moles? Number of moles, it is equal to weight divided by molecular weight. Weight divided by molecular weight. Suppose that we have given 1 gram of sodium chloride, 1 gram of sodium chloride, and it is dissolved in 1 gram of sodium chloride, and it is dissolved in 100 centimeter cube of water. 100 centimeter cube of water. Then what are the number of moles of the sodium chloride present? Okay, so weight W, it is equal to 1, and molecular weight of the sodium chloride, it is equal to 58.5. So number of moles, it is equal to 1 divided by molecular weight, that is 58.5, that is the molecular weight of the sodium chloride. So this value, it is nothing but the number of moles of the sodium chloride. Okay, so you can see here N2, it is equal to W2 upon M2, N1, it is equal to W1 upon M1. So we can substitute here N2 and N1. So the equation 7 can be written as, we want to write now this equation. Substitute here N2 and N1 into the equation 7. So you can see here delta T, it is equal to RT0 square upon LV, W2 upon M2. Now this M1 goes to the numerator because it is N2 divided by N1. So multiplied by M1 divided by W1. So this is equation 8. Okay, in the previous equation we substitute there. Again, once again we have to see here N2, it is equal to W2 upon M2. So we can write here this in this way, N2 upon N1 it is equal to. So we can write N2 upon N1 it is equal to, okay, you can see here N2 upon N1 it is equal to, so N2 it is W2 upon M2, W2 upon M2. Now it is divided by N1, N1 it is W1 upon M1. Okay, so M1 goes to the numerator, so we can write here M1 divided by W1. Okay, M1 divided by W1. So equation 7 can be written as, you can see here equation 7. Okay, we just substitute here that value. Okay, so delta T it should be written as here. Now let us simplify this capital LV. Capital LV is called as heat of vaporization per mole of the solvent. Now we want to convert this heat of vaporization per mole of the solvent into heat of vaporization per gram of the solvent. So therefore, how we can convert this heat of vaporization per gram of the solvent? So we can write this, it is equal to LV, it is equal to small LV, it is equal to, okay, small LV, it is equal to capital LV, that is heat of vaporization per mole of the solvent, it is divided by molecular weight of the solvent. Okay, so small LV, that is the heat of vaporization per gram of the solvent. So to obtain this small LV, we have to divide capital LV by M1. Then per mole get cancelled. Okay, so now it is heat of vaporization per gram of the solvent. So therefore capital LV it is equal to, so we can write here capital LV it is equal to, capital LV it is equal to small LV into M1. So substitute into equation 8. Okay. So you can see here we substitute small LV into M1 here. So M1 is at the denominator, M1 is there at the numerator. So they get cancelled here. Okay. So equation 9 can be written as delta T is equal to RT0 square divided by small LV. Okay. So we have to understand the difference between the capital LV and small LV. Small LV is heat of vaporization per gram of the solvent into W2 divided by M2 into W1. So we write equation 10 in this way. Okay. Now let us introduce the molality in the equation 10. So what is molality? Molality, it is the number of moles of the solute per kg of the solvent. Molality, it is denoted by the letter molality, it is denoted by the letter small m. So according to the definition of the molality, it is number of moles of the solute. Number of moles of the solute. Number of moles of the solute. Okay. It is divided by number of moles of the solute. It is divided by number of moles of the solute. It is divided by weight of the solvent. Weight of the solvent. Okay. It is divided by weight of the solvent. So in this case, suppose that weight of the solvent it is given in gram. Weight of the solvent it is given in gram. Weight of the solvent, what is the term we can use here for weight of the solvent? Okay, weight of the solvent it is denoted by W1 gram. So let us write this molality M, it is equal to number of moles of the solute, it is denoted by the letter N2. Okay, N2, number of moles of the solute. It is divided by weight of the solvent, that is suppose that W1. It is in gram, W1 in gram. Okay, but now according to the definition of the molality, it is number of moles per kg. So let us convert now this gram into kg. Now we know that N2 it is equal to W2 upon M2. W2 upon M2. Now it is divided by W2 upon M2. It is divided by weight of the solvent in gram, W1. Convert it is into the kilogram. So W1 it is divided by 1000. Okay. To convert gram into kilogram, W1 it is divided by 1000. So we can write this in this way. So 1000 goes to the numerator and W1 it is at the denominator. So this is the molality. Okay, this is the molality. To convert weight of the substance in kg, we have to divide it by 1000. So W1 divided by 1000. Now it is in kilogram. According to this definition, number of moles of the solute per kg of the solvent. So we can substitute the molality here. So this is the formula to calculate the molality. Molality is equal to W2 into 1000 divided by M2 into W1. Now let us see this equation, equation 10. In this equation 10, we have to multiply the numerator and denominator by 1000. So multiply the numerator and denominator by 1000 on RHS side of equation 10. So we can write here delta T, it is equal to RT0 square LV into 1000 multiplied by W2 into 1000 divided by M2 into W1. And this is nothing but, what is this? This is nothing but molality. So we can substitute here molality. Okay. So let us see the next slide. So we can write here, you can see the delta TE, elevation of boiling point of the solvent, RT0 square divided by LV into 1000. Now we substitute here the molality. According to the definition of the molality, it is equal to one molality. You can see here molality. In previous slide we explained already this. So molality is equal to W2 into 1000 divided by M2 into W1. Okay. So we write now equation 11. Okay. Now in equation 11, you can see R is a constant, gas constant, T0. What is T0? T0, it is the boiling point of the solvent. It is also constant. LV, heat of vaporization per gram of the solvent, it is constant, and 1000 is constant value. So all the values are constant. So instead of writing this, we can write one constant there, RT0 square divided by LV into 1000. This equation, this expression can be written by KB. So KB, it is equal to RT0 square divided by LV into 1000. Where KB, it is called as molar elevation constant or boolioscopic constant. Okay. So instead of writing this, we can write by KB. KB, it is called as a molar elevation constant. So you can see here delta TE, now it is equal to KB into molality. Yes, delta TE, that is elevation of boiling point of a solvent. Delta TE, that is elevation of boiling point of a solvent. It is equal to elevation of boiling point of a solvent. It is equal to KB. KB, it is a molar elevation constant. KB into molality. Now, as it is a constant, the value cannot be changed. Therefore, we can write here delta TE. It is directly proportional to the molality. So this is the thermodynamic relation between elevation of boiling point with the molality. Second thermodynamic derivation here. Previously, we derived the relation between the elevation of the boiling point of the solvent with mole fraction of the solute. Now, according to the equation 12, we can say that delta TE is directly proportional to the molality. So, equation 12 shows that elevation of boiling point of a solvent is directly proportional to the molality of the solution. And if the molality of the solution, now let us consider if the molality of the solution is unity. Okay. In this equation, if we take the molality of the solution, it is equal to 1. It means that the solution, it is 1 molar. Molality of the solution, it is 1, or solution is 1 molar solution. Then we can write this now. Equation 12, delta T, it is equal to KB, means both are same. Elevation of boiling point of a solvent, it is equal to the elevation of boiling point of the solvent, it is equal to the molar elevation constant. So according to this, we can define molar elevation constant KB. So molar elevation constant KB is the rise in boiling point. This KB, molar elevation constant KB, is the rise in boiling point of 1 kg of the solvent when 1 mole of the solute is added to the solvent. This constant KB can be defined as it is the rise in the boiling point of 1 kg of the solvent. Suppose that if we have taken the 1 kg of the solvent and when 1 mole of the solute it is added into the solvent, so whatever rise in boiling point of the solvent, it becomes equal to the molar elevation constant. Okay, it becomes equal to the molar elevation constant. Okay, so now equation 12 can be modified as equation 12. This we can substitute once again this molality into this equation. So delta T it is equal to Kb into W2 into 1000 divided by M2 into W1. Okay, so therefore equation this equation can be written as M2 it is equal to, okay, what is M2? M2 is the molecular weight of the solute. So M2 it is equal to Kb into W2 into 1000 divided by delta T into W1. Okay, so this is the relation between the molecular weight of the solute with elevation of boiling point of the solvent. Okay, so this is the very important equation. So on the basis of this equation we can determine the molecular weight of the solute. So this equation 13 is the relation between the relation between the molecular weight of the non-volatile solute with elevation of boiling point of the solvent. Thus we derive here the relation between the molecular weight of the non-volatile solute with elevation of boiling point of the solvent. Okay, so in this equation M2 is the molecular weight of the solute, Kb it is the molar elevation constant, W2 it is the weight of the solute, then delta T it is the elevation of boiling point of the solvent, and W1 it is the weight of the solvent. So this is the final step of the derivation, that is elevation of boiling point of a solvent. This is equation 30. Okay, so we explain in this video the relation between the elevation of boiling point of a solvent with molecular weight of the solute. Again, you can see here to understand this graph is very important. Okay, because this graph shows variation of the vapor pressure with temperature. So the separately the for solvent and solution the graphs are plotted here. So as the temperature is increases, vapor pressure is increases. Same in the case of the solution. As the temperature is increases, vapor pressure is increases. So the boiling point of the solution it is T, and the boiling point of the solvent it is T0, and the difference between the boiling point of the solution and solvent it is called as the elevation of boiling point. Okay, so to derive the derivation we have chosen here the 2 points onto the solution curve: higher vapor pressure, lower vapor pressure. Here higher temperature, lower temperature, and we can apply the integrated form of the Clapeyron-Clapeyron equation to this. And step by step, we have derived the equation. Okay, we have derived the equation in this way, and finally, we get the derivation here. That is the relation between the molecular weight of the solute with elevation of boiling point of a solvent. Okay, so thus in this video we explain the elevation of boiling point of a solvent and the molecular weight of the non-volatile solute.